Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we take a look at people's opinion on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. Today we explore a debate sparked by activist Omoyele Sowore, who recently called President Bola Tinubu a criminal after his Brazil visit, where the president reportedly claimed Nigeria now has no corruption and there is easier access to foreign exchange for businesses. Sowore's tweet not only challenges the president's assertions, it highlights how serious allegations made without court affirmation can carry significant consequences, especially under the gaze of global scrutiny. Despite reports that the DSS sought to restrict his accounts and have the tweets removed, Sowore maintains his criticisms are constitutionally protected and vows to continue speaking out against the Tinubu administration. Now, though powers of words can challenge authority, spark debate, and hold leaders accountable, it can also mislead or inflame if not exercised carefully. Joining us are voices from across social critics, journalists, and legal minds to examine accountability, the limits of dissent, and what responsible engagement should look like in a democracy that is still finding its balance. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because coming back is the meat of today's conversation with my distinguished guests, Chude, Inibehe Effiong, and Joseph Edgar. Perspectives return in just a moment. Now, welcome back to Perspectives on Arise News. Let's now take a minute to meet my guests today, including author and political affairs analyst Chude, human rights lawyer Inibehe Effiong, who we are expecting to join us at any moment soon, and entrepreneur and media production executive Joseph Edgar. Great to see you guys again on Perspectives. Well, before we go into the questions, let's take a minute or two.
It's a pleasure, thank you.
Okay, let's take a minute or two to listen to President Bola Tinubu, who during a recent visit to Brazil declared that Nigeria was free from corruption, apparently in an effort to impress potential investors. What I'm about is that tweet by Omoyele Sowore, which was apparently by Tinubu's comments about a corruption-free Nigeria in Brazil. Or maybe not, but here it is.
That can really develop
que somente juntos
our economies
poderemos desenvolver nossas economias
help our sovereignty.
para auxiliar na nossa soberania.
On number of issues,
Concluímos em vários
such as
assuntos,
technology
como
transfer.
transferência de tecnologia. Nós temos uma população muito jovem na Nigéria que está incansável, pronta, uma população que está pronta para a guerra, para trocar ideias, está pronta para melhorias. Uma população que vai utilizar essa oportunidade. Eles sabem que o Brasil tem os ativos que nós precisamos. Nós já repetimos muitas vezes que o terceiro maior produtor de petróleo do mundo, e eu disse que isso não está levando a atividades comerciais de valor como deveriam. Ou seja, acaba se tornando um ativo morto e nós não queremos isso. Nós queremos ser um ativo com ação, com promissor e com grandes possibilidades. Nós temos o maior repositório de gás. Então eu não vejo por que a Petrobras não entre como parceira da Nigéria o mais rápido possível. E eu agradeço a promessa do presidente Lula a isso, que isso será feito assim que possível. E é necessário enfatizar isso aqui, porque as reformas que eu fiz desde que assumi o governo da Nigéria têm sido muito impactantes. Eu posso bater no peito de orgulho. Foi inicialmente dolorosa a reforma, mas hoje ela está florindo e está melhorando a vida das pessoas Nós temos uma economia melhor, não tem mais corrupção. Nós temos o governador do Banco Central aqui. E nós tínhamos uma grande dívida em moeda estrangeira, não há mais. Os especuladores foram embora e o nosso mercado de câmbio está fazendo com que os mercados...
What I'm about to show you today is a tweet by Omoyele Sowore, which was apparently triggered by Tinubu's comments about this comment that he made on corruption. So can we have the tweet, please? Okay, there the tweet is. Okay. So this criminal at official ABT actually went to Brazil to state that there is no more corruption under his regime in Nigeria. What audacity to lie shamelessly. So this, of course, as you know, Edgar, it began with one word, criminal. That's what stood out. Yeah. And, you know, it has caused so much uproar that the nation is divided over the audacity of that text. So what's your take on it, on Sowore calling the president a criminal?
For me not to toe his line, I want to say, with the highest level of respect to Mr. Sowore, that was a very responsible statement to have made. You know, you could have made your point very easily and very much more elegantly without using such words on an individual that represents over 200 million people. You know, so that's my opening shot for now.
Okay. So let's get to Chude. Chude, are you in the house? Chude, can we have Chude in the house, please? Now, Chude, how can journalists... Yes, good to see you. How can journalists and unions protect...
Go on.
How can journalists and unions, for instance, protect free speech without enabling its misuse? And can such tweets be defended as free speech or seen as irresponsible journalism?
Well, the journalist has a duty, has a responsibility to hold political leaders accountable. It is the reason why, of all the professions, you know, the Constitution specifically mentions the role of the media in ensuring accountability. Because you cannot separate a democracy from the practice of the media. The media has to be free if the democracy has to be free. You want to determine the level or degree of, you know, of a democracy, you first of all determine the level or degree of the freeness of the media. You know, so the media obviously has responsibilities. But the media is also guided by certain principles and ideals and ethos. You know, the journalist, the professional journalist is trained. He's trained, you know, in the ethics of the profession. While he's encouraged to be decisive and to show commitment to the society, to the demands of the society, while trying to hold politicians accountable, he also has to do it within the bounds of the ethics of the profession. You know, of course, he has to be decorous in his language, but he does not need to pepper or pamper, you know, or paper over or gloss over situations that occur. Because for you to be authentic, then you must be able to express yourself authentically and not color sugarcoat, you know, issues. But at the same time, you also realize that you will not deliberately defame anybody just because you want to make a point. I agree. Obviously, when people look at this Sowore statement, you know, the question you ask yourself is, was he making this statement, for instance, as a radical activist that he is known for, or is he making it as a politician? And you must be able to separate these two.
Yeah, but how can individuals
if he's making it as a politician, yeah.
How can people separate that?
You must be able to. I mean, in the sense that, for instance, you know, they are in the political arena, and the politicians are used to all manners of inflammatory words. And we are saying that these things are wrong. We have always maintained it, that they must look for a way to bring down the tempo of the rhetorics when they are talking, because they are supposed to, they are leaders. They are no longer, you know, ordinary people. So people take whatever words, whatever statements they make into consideration. And you also, for instance, from what you said earlier when you were talking, that Sowore had said that it falls under free speech. So if it falls under free speech, for instance, then it can be tested. It can be tested in the law court. I also don't want to believe that the president does not have a means to seek redress in the law courts. So they can take him to the law court and then also because there's a law on defamation, obviously. So if it is defamatory, then the question you ask yourself is, why is the government waiting? Of course, we are talking about the cybercrime law, which we disagree vigorously with in some aspects of the cybercrime law. In as much as there are certain things you want to do, in terms of having a law that ensures that there's some level of societal compliance with the norms, of society and the laws of the land. But you don't also have to take it too far, at the same time. So can the president seek redress, in the law courts? And I think that these are the things that also one has to consider. He made a statement that because you make this kind of statement, you must be able to prove this statement. Can Sowore prove, the statement, the validity of the statement, that he made? He seems pretty confident that he has not done anything wrong and that he has a freedom of expression. So if he has a freedom of expression and the government believes that he does not, the law books are there, then he can be taken up, at the legal level and prosecuted and see whether they have a case, a justifiable case against him.
Okay. Now let's get back to Edgar. Now, how can activists ensure, for instance, that their dissent is impactful without tipping into reckless or harmful messaging? Why do you think Sowore needed to go to this extreme to make his point?
Okay, so I think I have a major problem with Sowore. You get in the basket that he's playing, either as a human rights activist or a politician or in advocacy. So what I see here now is a push for relevance in these areas. Do you get me now? In the human rights part of it, do you get me now? I see a seeming loss of relevance, do you get? And I see some of these things that he does, as a push to continue to put himself in the limelight. The political side of the whole thing is already working. We all know what happened to the presidential elections with his push. So there's this need to be daring. There's this need to tweak, to taunt. Do you get? And see how the system will react to him to keep him in the pages in the pages of the put him in the headlines. Are you getting me now? And for me, this is backfiring. The only thing that seems to be going for him now is the seeming lack of understanding of those on this side, on the authority, to handle people like him. Because I don't understand why, for example, the DSS, whose job, you get me, we know what their job is chasing him over a tweet like this. It just makes me look at that DSS with one kind of eye.
So like using a sledgehammer to kill an ant kind of thing?
You get, it's a non-issue. Do you get? We have bigger problems that DSS should be facing rather than we are going after Sowore to pull down the tweet in a country that its social media space is so vibrant. You get? So he tweets this thing yesterday. Tomorrow morning, the Abbas is cooking rice. Everybody has moved on. Are you getting me now? And because everybody has moved on, DSS is wasting time, precious time and resources, chasing him to the point that even we hear. I don't know if it's true that they're writing to Facebook to pull it down. No. You see, Sowore is fighting a battle for himself. And that battle is continued relevance. His continued relevance in the Nigerian polity. He's being overtaken by much more serious people. Someone will sit there in his house, do you get me now, and tweet, and he reach millions of people. Do you get me now? I mean, he's here. He has to be arrested every week for us to hear what he's saying.
So you think this is intentional attention?
Yes, it's attention seeking.
But he's also very popular, whether you like it or not.
No. He's very popular, but what has his popularity achieved for him since his days in elected date? Are you getting me? I don't know how it's good tomorrow. Yesterday, it's coming out tomorrow. And I asked me, I said, it was jokingly. And I said, if after all of these years, as an activist, is supposed I say arresting you, then there's a problem. By now, Commissioner of Police should be arresting you. So you have not grown in activism. If it's supposed I say arresting you. And some of these things are those things. You're shouting yourself out of you're not being taken seriously by any of your space. The human rights people are not taken seriously. Do you get me now? These other people who are taking seriously on the government side are people who are doing eye service. Because honestly, go through, I don't even think the president will reason some of this. Because the president has said that he has stopped using social media because it makes him feel high blood pressure. So everybody, these people who are shouting all these things, going to Facebook, and people who are just seeking some form of, I do my job on this side. Do you get me now? And those people should not be taken seriously. Do you get me now? So I think Sowore should. He's an elder statesman now in all of these places that he's playing. Do you get me now? He has done his activism for only God knows all of those years. He's an elder statesman. You cannot compare him to people like the VDM in terms of longevity. Do you get me now?
What would you say is a comparison with VDM? Sowore's comparison with VDM?
I think VDM is much impactful. 100% much more impactful.
Why do you say so?
Because we can actually see what he's achieving in some of these things that he's doing. He pushed that issue to National Assembly. He got the reckoning of this. If VDM calls a press conference today, people will listen. Sowore calls, look, every time they arrest Sowore, 6-7 people are following him for back now to the police station or to wherever the court or wherever it is. This now, he's my friend, but let's say the truth. If VDM comes to Awolowo Road today now, you will see the crowd. If Sowore comes to Awolowo Road now, what's going on here? Are you getting me now? I think he should recalibrate. Do you get me now? Look back at himself. Look back at the strategy. Look back at what he's trying to achieve. Look back at his what's the word now? The things his vehicles of trying to achieve these things, and say, okay, am I hitting the point? For me, this statement, you call the president criminal, it's just so annoying, to say the least. You get, it's just so annoying. You could have achieved. Go back and look at Ganifa now. Look at the way he used to marshal out his points, his arguments. If you are going to look at Sowore from human rights point of view, go and look at Femi Falana. Look at the way he marshals out his points. You get, if you are going to look at Sowore from that angle, you get me? Go and look at Peter Obi. Do you get me now? Peter Obi or Atiku or wherever it is, and how they marshal out their points. Do you get me now? If you're going to look at Sowore from the political point of view, you get, what's all this market woman talk? Is this criminal? No.
Okay. Anyway, we are going for a short break soon, and we're here in the house. So we'll see you right back. Grab your cup of tea, as I always say, and then come back and join us. See you soon. So welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. So we now have Nibe here in the house. You missed a bit of the interview, but yes, let's continue from where we left off. Now, when you heard about this Sowore issue and also how the DSS tried to get the Twitter down. So when government moves against harsh critics, do you see it as a legitimate exercise of state power, or a risk of overreach that undermines free speech?
Well, let me even start by quickly addressing this issue of Sowore, in quotes, referring to President Tinubu as a criminal. But a lot of emotions, varied reactions. Some people saying, oh, that is too blistering. Some saying, oh, that is defamatory. Others are saying, oh, you cannot speak to the president in that manner. The question is, who is aggrieved by what Sowore has said? Has President Tinubu come out to say that he is displeased by what Sowore has said? The answer is no. President Tinubu, on record, as I'm speaking to you at this moment, has not complained.
Yeah, but even if he hasn't complained, doesn't mean that...
No, why are we crying more than the bereaved? Why are we crying more than the bereaved?
So
this is the president.
Anybody can just come out
No, this is the president. This is the president. Because in this country, we don't only rig elections, sometimes we try to rig history. Yeah, in 2013...
That's besides the point. The point is that
I'm addressing the point. What is special about
I'm not saying that, but are you saying that it's right for anybody to call the president?
I'm saying that is his opinion.
Under the guise of free speech.
No, the president does not enjoy, the president's reputation does not have any special protection under the law. The president's reputation is also similar to my own reputation. It stands on the same pedestal as your own reputation. There is nothing special about the president as far as reputation is concerned. There is no law in Nigeria that protects the reputation of the president far and above that of other Nigerians. But let me even go to the point. In 2013, Bola Ahmed Tinubu referred to Jonathan as running a robbery government. In 2015, the same Bola Tinubu accused Jonathan of stealing money from subsidy. So this is a president who has also used similar language in the past. Yes, the language is harsh.
So two wrongs make it right?
The question is, what is the wrong here? And who is complaining about the wrong?
Okay.
Why are we engaging in this pedestrian conversation? Yes, the language, may not be acceptable to some people. But that is what Sowore has said. And the law is clear. Defamation is a personal matter. If Bola Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, is aggrieved, he has not even said he's aggrieved.
Okay, so why did DSS reach out then?
What is their business? It's busybody. It's busybody. And what pains me is that the states, and please let me place this correction again. It is not DSS. The language, the law today, the National Security Agency Act, the agency established by law is State Security Service, abbreviated as SSS. This name, DSS, or Department of State Services, is unknown to law. But let me say clearly, under the National Security Agencies Act, the statutory mandate of the SSS is circumscribed to gathering intelligence for the internal security of Nigeria. The SSS has no business dabbling into who is insulting the president. Calling the president a criminal is not a threat to national security. Okay, let me ask you the question. If he had called his governor a criminal, his local government a criminal, his councillor a criminal, will it make a difference? So on the basis of law, the SSS has no business in this matter. Look at the letter that they wrote to the social media companies, X and Facebook. I had to write on Sowore's behalf to Facebook. If you look at the laws that the SSS cited, it's a national embarrassment. They made reference to Section 51 of the Criminal Code Act, which provides for the offense of sedition, or used to provide for the offense of sedition. How can the SSS not know that sedition is no longer part of our law in Nigeria? That as far back as 1985, the Court of Appeal in the case of Otonwanko and State had declared the offense of sedition unconstitutional and had expunged it from our law. They even cited Section 24 of the Cyber Crimes Act. Does the SSS not know that by virtue of the amendments signed by the same President Tinubu a few months ago, you can no longer arrest a Nigerian for insulting anybody on the basis of the Cyber Crimes Act? What the current Cyber Crimes Act has amended limits, as far as Section 24 is concerned, is if you post a content that is pornographic or that threatens the life of a person. Does calling someone a criminal threaten somebody's life? Do you know the thousands of Americans that are calling Trump a criminal on a daily basis? We are living in the 21st century, where the president of France was slapped. Somebody assaulted the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. We saw it live. If it was Nigeria, they would have taken the president to a firing squad and killed him. What we are seeing is evidence of dictatorship. The SSS should be busy looking for kidnappers who are kidnapping Nigerians. They are supposed to be busy in Sambisa forest looking for Boko Haram that is killing members of our armed forces. But what are they doing? Year after year, regime after regime, they offer themselves as instrument of repression. Don't forget that this same Sowore was also charged for insulting Buhari. I was part of the defense. What came out of the sham trial? What came out of the fraudulent charges that they brought? At the end of the day, they abandoned it because it was never going to stand. So whether you agree with Sowore's language or not, what Nigerians must say in unanimity, we must never agree to live in a country where the institutions of state are deployed for personal aggrandizement. And let me conclude by saying on this point, that the man Omoyele Sowore, in a country that has a sense of justice, is supposed to be celebrated. I listened to the guest on the studio while I sat out, saying that Sowore is pursuing a personal agenda. What is a personal agenda? What is the personal agenda? Here is a man whose rights have been trampled upon. Here is a man that has a permanent residence in the US, has abandoned that privilege to come to Nigeria to fight for a better country. We are trying to stigmatize a man that is fighting for the progress of the country while we are canonizing those who are stealing from the country. This is not how to develop. If Tinubu is aggrieved by what Sowore has said, he has retinue of lawyers. He has senior advocates at his beck and call. He can brief one of them to file a suit in court so that he can put his reputation on trial, so that he can put his character to test. But to simply say that you are going to use the SSS that doesn't even have the jurisdiction to arrest Sowore, meanwhile they have seized his passport as I'm speaking to you, the same SSS that the court ordered that they should return his phones, return his properties, in defiance of the order of the court, they're still holding on to those things. It is either we agree to live in a country governed by the rule of law, or we become a lawless country, and that is the language that they are speaking to us, that they cannot abide by the law. Freedom of expression is guaranteed. And I keep reminding Nigerians that if freedom of expression is only applicable if you say what is pleasant, then that right is useless. The right to free speech is only functional if you are entitled to say what offends other people. When they are aggrieved, the law says they have the right to seek redress. As at this moment, Tinubu is not aggrieved. Tinubu has not complained that it's aggrieved. Tinubu has not made any claims against Sowore. Let the SSS mind their business. Let them focus on the statutory mandate that they have under the law. Let them go after kidnappers. Let them go after the security in the northeast, the security in the southeast. Let them focus on their mandate. Gather intelligence to protect Nigerians. This busybody thing that they are doing, trying to massage the ego of the president, Nigerians are not going to accept it.
Okay. Edgar, do you have a rebuttal to that, or before I go
I just want to clarify something. I want to clarify something. No, I never said that Sowore was pushing a personal agenda in the sense that he's putting it down. So what I was trying to say was that what I see in Sowore's actions in the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, is a continuous push to maintain some level of relevance in the face of dwindling relevance and all of this. You see, where we always have problem with human rights people is that they like to convolute things. They like to convolute things. This issue is very simple and straightforward. Why we came here this morning. Do you get me now? The question is very simple. Was Sowore right to have used such a word on the president? Do you get? And I'm saying that he could have achieved whatever he set out to achieve, you get, in that statement by being a little bit more elegant in his wordings. You know, when you continue to do abusive languages and no go agree, where has it gotten you? We just saw what happened in Nepal today, few days ago. A 15, 16-year-old boy has achieved tremendous change by unique, you get, by unique play of words, by unique strategy. All this I no go agree, and knock my head. Where is it getting us? If you ask me, I even think that you guys are even distracting us from trying to what you need to achieve. I'm not telling you honest, go through. Because see, I have said, you have just come out here now to say almost the same things that I have said.
Not necessarily the same.
No, almost. As I said, almost. So what are the clear points? The clear points that I have said that he's agreeing with me here now, in different words, is that DSS has no business here. I've said that.
He agreed with you on that, but he didn't agree with you on your stand on Sowore.
No. My stand on Sowore, you get, is not based on law. It's based
just
on...
he didn't...
He stands on Sowore. He sat on law, which I agree with him. Sowore has all of the rights in this world, you get me now, to express himself. You get to a certain limit. You get Sowore has all the rights in this world. You get to say, look, I want change in this country. Do you get me now? Now, but as a media strategist, I'm looking from the media point of view. He's going from the media point of view. God bless you. Mode of delivery. Do you get me now? And then how are we going to quantify whatever he has achieved in using this mode of delivery all of these years? The question is that what has Sowore really achieved? Do you get me now? Using this strategy, vis-a-vis people are just coming up recently using a different mode of delivery and a different mode of strategy. Do you get me now?
And you think they're getting more traction?
100% of the time. 100% of the time. And I told you very clearly. Now, you see, how do you measure these things? It's followership. Do you get me now? It's followership. It's impact. The other way I'm talking about power and influence. Do you get me now? If Sowore stands here today, how many of us will stand behind him? If VDM, for example, stands here today, even this funny Bobrisky stands here today, you get how many people stand behind him? Are you getting me now?
Yeah.
You know, so the point now is that you guys allow us see road and build a much more serious, effective opposition to whatever we are facing in this country.
Let's get to Chude. Can we have Chude in the house, please? Okay, Chude, we've argued back and forth about this.
Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay, you want to talk before I ask your question?
I think the last statements,
Go ahead.
Yes. The comments, I think the very last comment by the last speaker, I tried to understand where he was going, but again, he fails to realize that the reason why society has advanced is because of people who say no. So the last speaker,
Edgar. Edgar.
That's the last. Yeah, Edgar. Sorry. Yes. That the reason why society has advanced to where it is today is because of people who have said no. It's because of people who have had the temerity, to go against, the dictates of the system. People who, whether it's in science, whether it's in technology, whether it's in politics, people have had the guts and the courage to say no to the status quo and to challenge the status quo. And that's why everybody now is benefiting from some of those things. Perhaps Nigeria would have been in a worse place today if not for the people who are saying, these people he refers to, I no go agree. Where is Nigeria's democracy today? Where, the politicians that are now, holding forth in this country today, was it not because of people like Gani Femi Falana, Beko, Chimo Bani, Bamidele Aturu, and all of that, and all of those people? Is it not because of radical, civil society organizations like the Campaign for Democracy, the Civil Liberties Organization, and all those people that led the frontier, for the advancement of democracy in this country? So I think it is unjustifiable, and I think it's a hit below the belt for him to come out and say they are not going to agree. People are the ones creating a crisis or problems in the country. Nigeria will not be where it is today. In fact, the mistake that civil society made at that particular point in time, when they led the fight against military dictatorship, was that they decided that, look, this is not, and that was a fundamental mistake that they made, that this is not our thing. We have done our part, we have pushed the military out. Let us leave it to the politicians who know how to play the politics so that they can hopefully get to power and make the country better. They got in there and locked the door and locked them out. So I think it's uncharitable to hear that kind of statement from him. A lot of people have made sacrifices in this country on the streets to make this country better. And if there are certain gains that the people have had, it is because of these civil society organizations, especially the credible ones. So it is very wrong for him to make that kind of statement. We agree, yes, my position has been, and I think it is the position that Inebehe has also taken. I asked the question when you made that statement. I asked, is it that the president does not have remedy? Is it that the president cannot seek recourse to the courts when Sowore has made an inflammatory statement like this? Because it's also it could be defamatory. But will the government go to court and then also prove that case against Sowore? I did make that statement. So we have to put some of these things in the right, perspective. People have been heroes in this country. People have made sacrifices in this country. So the politicians today that are benefiting from the sweat of these people today are not the actual heroes of this country. It is as simple as that.
Okay.
No, Ruth, I beg you.
You can ask your question now.
No, he wants
he was trying to understand me. I mean, we are talking to the public now. We're talking to Nigerians right now. So if you take a breather when I talk, you get pulled back. I try to understand me. You get, don't misquote me. Don't misquote me. You get, we are on the same side. Our difference.
I heard what you said. Okay, fine.
Maybe you don't understand the context of what I'm saying. We are on the same side. Where we differ is the strategy. You get me now? I never in this program say that people did not fight for where we are today. I never in this program try to disparage those who fought for wherever it is that we are today. No, I'm just saying now that there are more elegant ways of achieving these things. Now, you may agree with me, you may not agree with me. I
agree on that. I agree on that, yes.
God bless you. So I'm saying now that within the context of this conversation, calling the president of Nigeria a criminal is wrong in every angle you want to see it. Whether it is legally, whether it is morally, and the fact that the president has not come up personally to say that I am aggrieved does not mean that people like us who are sitting down here and watching these things do not feel the way we feel about it. All I'm just saying here now is that you can achieve these things. Okay, I'll give you a small example. Let me ask you a small example. This former president of what's that guy's name? The guy from Onitsha, the son. What's his name again? The son, the one that has always known about Papa.
Agbakoba.
God bless you. look at the style of dissent. Now, no, I'm not sitting here to say that one style is best or one style will not. Are you getting me now? I'm just saying now that would Olisa Agbakoba come out and call the president a criminal, even if the president had called people criminals 600 years ago? No. Your style may work for you, my style may work for me, but I'm saying that on this particular case, you get me now? Sowore would have achieved much more with that his platform, you get me now, if he had been a little bit more elegant in that I don't know because
tell us the language.
The point again is that
the language you would have been comfortable with.
And I'll explain to you again. You see, people just jump up and make comments, not understanding some of the issues that they are commenting about. That statement that the president made about corruption was within the context of a particular company or sector, not Nigeria as a whole.
Foreign exchange.
Foreign exchange. Now you do not need to know somebody to get dollar. But because we're always in a hurry to bam, anything that comes to from this is bad. They will not come this kind of statement. It was within a context. It was within a context of that foreign exchange, whatever, in that industry, in that NMPC. It was within the context. And whether we like it or not, we know where we are coming from in that regard. We know where we are today in that regards.
But do you think the president also should be more selective with his words, not to give room for people to exploit or take advantage of that
Just give me 2 minutes now. For the first time in a long while, I think it was Obasanjo who last saw this, we now see a president that's beginning to look like he's much more intelligent than people around him. Now, whether his intelligence is in the positive or in the negative is what I don't know. What irritates me about Buhari's 8 years was the fact that if Buhari goes to a nursery school, he will read speech. If Buhari is going to speak to market women, he will read speech. And I just ask myself, what's the meaning of all of this one now? Do you get? You cannot talk from your brain. Now we now have a president who 7, 8 out of 10 times, do you get me now? He's speaking from his head. Do you get me now?
But does not give room for
God bless
errors.
you. So he gives room for he gives room for gaps.
Yeah, gaps.
You get not errors, these are gaps. Now,
yes.
if we are going to respond, if my brother is going to respond to whatever he says, you get me now, he should pull back and say, and really dimension that speech. Dimension it. What's he trying to say? What has he not said? What are you getting me now? Before you now come out and hit. So where Sowore got wrong here in this whole thing now is that when the president, I wrote about this, when the president said corruption is gone, you get, and I wrote about it and said, look, this guy was speaking not only as president of Nigeria, but as a salesman. He was selling Nigeria. And that's where Buhari is getting wrong.
Some would argue that he was saying a false narrative.
No. In that context.
Yeah, but maybe even in that context, he should have explained that in this context, but not in other areas.
Then your tweets, you get me now, should have been a little bit more guided. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. President? Because I don't think I believe it. I don't think I agree with you.
So do you agree that Mr. President, in his speech, should have made that clear, a bit more clear, that corruption has been raised in this sector, but not everywhere else?
That does not justify calling him a criminal.
I'm not
if he had that gap.
So
yes, maybe he would have done that, but that is where his handlers would have come in. Like for example,
how would they have corrected it?
The handlers would have come in and released a statement instantly. Like for example now, when he said subsidy is gone, that was president speaking from his heart of hearts. We all hated it. I didn't believe, because that next morning fuel had gone up. Do you get me now?
Yeah.
Now, but his handlers should have quickly done the damage control.
Okay, so you believe that the handlers obviously did not do a very
The handlers
good job
are not operating at his level.
Okay.
That's why we always say that the problem the president has today is that he's surrounded by, maybe because of the way he picks them, my brother, my sister, people who come from Lagos, he doesn't understand that this is the big league. If you have done so well in Lagos State, if you have done so well in Bodilon, you get me now, this is the big league. You get me now? You are in Brazil, you are in America, you are going to speak at Onga next week or whatever. You get me now? You are carrying people who were managing you when you were senator in the Third Republic. Are you getting me now? This is the big league. Surround yourself with people who understand these issues. So you know that you are pushed by passion. You are pushed to speak. Your people around you and surrounding you, the minute you make those speeches and those gaps, you instantly they tweet and cover it and block it.
Let him talk.
I think I have some comments to make. I don't agree that the president has surrounded himself with people who are intellectually lesser than him. The company that you keep is also a representation of who you are. If this president is that intellectual genius, is that man of vast knowledge, it will naturally keep company that shows that if someone that has respect for education. But all that we have seen is chronic nepotism, the Milokong ideology. This is our time to feast and merit. You know, the carnival has started. Participate in it. That is what this government has been about. So I also find it a bit baffling that this has become a national conversation. Why is the public being forced to even debate this issue? Why is the SSS? Are we that unserious as a country? Given the challenges we are facing today, given the economic peril that Nigeria is currently experiencing, largely due to the policies of this government, which has basically made the situation worse than Buhari had left it. Look at the foreign exchange today, the value of our currency today. So why are we talking about it? Why are you saying that Sowore's social media handle should be deleted, should be taken out, should be deactivated?
So you believe that was an overreach?
Yeah.
It shows they are unserious people. Yeah. So I am saying, because they say, oh, the language is wrong, what is the appropriate language? The Olisa Bagoba that he's talking about. What he would not tell you is that Olisa Bagoba was detained many times. He says his language was okay. Ganifa Wemi spent many of his years in detention by successive military regimes. Olisa Bagoba had his own passport seized. It is now a locus classicus. Director of SSS and Olisa Bagoba. The Femi Falana that he's talking about has also been detained by successive regimes. The issue is not the language, because if it is a language, the Nigerian government only responds to violence. That is the truth. We have seen with Asari Dokubo, we have seen with Tompolo, we have seen with Sunday Boho, we have seen with all those that have taken arms against the state. They are the ones that are being invited to the table. Sowore is not a violent person. Nobody in Nigeria today can cite an example where Sowore has violently attacked any person. Here is a man who has deployed non-violence as a strategy. All that they are complaining about is his language. Is it Sowore that is sending people to attack Nigerians that are not ready to vote a particular political party? They say, oh, you are not... The Peter Obi that they are saying that he has the right language. Have you not seen what they have done to his supporters? Even in the last election? Let us stop deceiving ourselves. The truth of the matter is that the political class in this country today does not have any interest in allowing this country to prosper. So why we are wasting time debating the language that Sowore, those who are saying his strategy is not good, he's not using the right strategy to fight for Nigeria. Why are they not using the right strategy to fight for Nigeria? The idea that you want to detect to an activist the strategy of his activism, while you are making excuses for the same ruling class that is destroying our country, we are never going to accept it. We will not allow those who are excusing the criminality of the establishment to detect the language of activism. We will continue to demand in Nigeria, because he keeps saying, oh, the president is this. I haven't seen evidence of that. As I'm talking to you, you are aware, doctors have gone on strike. Are you aware doctors have gone on strike? Where is the president? The president that we are even talking about is irritating. This Bola Ahmed Tinubu that we are having this conversation about, where is he? Can you tell me where your president is? He's not even in the country. He's not here. He has gone to France or wherever to take care of himself while Nigerians are dying, while Nigerians are being slaughtered. Where is the president whose character they are seeking to protect? Nowhere to be found. The president has gone AWOL. Nigerians cannot find him. How can you be speaking about the reputation of a president that is nowhere to be found? Let Tinubu even come out first and tell us that he's aggrieved. You see, the thing about libel, which many people don't know, is that when you sue somebody for libel, you are putting your character on trial. And that is why they always avoid going to court. I don't know if you are aware, several libel cases have been filed against Sowore. Most of them, especially in the US, nobody has ever succeeded in filing this kind of cases against Sowore. There is what is called strategic litigation against public participation, SLAP. That is what we are seeing. Year after year, they deploy security agencies to attack those who say things that people in power are not happy about. If you are not happy, oh, Sowore shouldn't have called the president a criminal. Well, maybe you have a valid point in saying that. But as the president complained to you, now, the language of Sowore Is it worse than those who are stealing money that they said was going to be recovered after subsidy is gone? Is it the language of Sowore that is responsible for the killing by across the country? Is it the language of Sowore that is responsible for the madness that is happening now? The failure of our institutions. Is it Sowore's language that has made Tinubu not to reform the electoral system? This is going to his third term. Not a single bill to reform the electoral system. Is it the language of Sowore that is responsible for the frequent collapse of the national grid? Is it the language of Sowore that has made the dollar to have significant advantage over the naira? Is it the language of Sowore that has made even our athletes not to be given the kits, the tools that they need to compete favorably? Is it Sowore's language that is responsible for our pregnant women dying without maternity care?
Thank you so much.
Sowore's language is not the problem of Nigeria. Tinubu and those around him are the problems of this country. And we should stop talking about the language of Sowore, about a president that has gone into hiding. Tinubu is in hiding. Okay. As I'm speaking to you as a Nigerian now, I don't know where my president is. I don't know what took him outside the country. Is that the kind of country that we want to live in?
Edgar,
where is the president of Nigeria?
Okay, Edgar, give us the last one before we get to
you see, all this talk is not, to my understanding, the kernel of today's conversation.
No, it is.
To my understanding. Because you see, what you've done here now is that you have succeeded in grabbing this program, turning it into a pulpit.
No.
You see, let me tell something. My brother, calm down. You see, we are on the same side. We are saying the same things.
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure.
We are saying the same things in different words. You are saying your own things in your own way. I'm saying my own things in my own way. But we are saying the same thing. The honest God truth is that no average Nigerian is happy with the way things are going right now. No average Nigerian, you get me now, is saying that we are in an Eldorado. No. You get me now? But the kernel of this conversation, if Ruth had called me and said, Edgar, come, let's discuss the present state of Nigeria today. Yeah. You get, then I will say all these things you are saying, even more than you. I even said even much more intelligent than you, coming from the economic angle. Yeah, honest God, because you've talked about forex now. I don't think you understand what led to what is making the forex whatever where it is. Do you get me now? But I was asked to come here as a media person to ask out the question, was Sowore right? Don't they bring all these things, all these things.
Language you should have used. You've not told us the appropriate language.
I have told you very clearly that
what is the language?
If I was going to make that statement, I will make that statement. Do you get me now? I will, without using that word.
What would you have said? Tell us what you would have said.
I would not call the president a criminal on an issue that concerns the forex situation in the oil industry. I will not. Get down straight. I will not. I could have said that, Mr. President, I really don't understand what you're trying to achieve with that statement. I do not agree with this statement. I wait for further clarifications. I would have said that. And I would have been a little bit much more effective.
Thank you.
And I will respect that. I trust you, I will respect that.
I have one last word.
But let the president complain, not you. Tinubu is not aggrieved.
I'm not complaining. It's not that come here to go answer the question.
No, because a lawless agency of state has decided to meddle into a matter that does not concern them.
I agree with you with
that.
But
so condemn them. Condemn what they have done.
It's a conversational topic. It's a conversational topic.
We've condemned that it is not SSS business, this thing that is happening today, or this information.
We have to go.
It's not their business. Do you get me now? So we've
Can I have a last word, please? Can I have a last word with Chude? Chude, do you have any last... Chude, hello? Chude, are you with us? You've been hearing these arguments back and forth.
Yes, I lost two people.
Do you have any last words for us?
Yes, I lost two people, yeah. The reality is that sometimes people who have also thrown a stone into the glass houses also are now frowning because they are the receiving end. The reality is that we do not want to keep on hitting the political temperature in this country as much as is possible.
Yes.
Now we are facing issues of, and I think we discussed that perhaps last week, issues of ethnic profiling and all these other very dangerous things in the country. And we don't see politicians come out to speak against such things. These are things that threaten the fabric of this country. The interrelationship between peoples, the various peoples of Nigeria, who have always related well among themselves with marriages and social interactions and all of that. But we now see, either as not just private individuals, but people, related to politicians or connected to politicians, using some of these parochial sentiments to further cause schism within the Nigerian political space. And you want people to live, to respond to this, especially political leaders. That is leadership. We see it every day. And so if we say that the kind of rhetoric from Sowore, shouldn't have used that kind of language, I think I agree with the guest in the studio, Edgar, to that extent. Even though Inibehe also made, even though Inibehe also made a statement, and also talked about similar statements being attributed to the president in the past of a similar nature. And now that does not, like you said, two wrongs do not make a right. But we should all be circumspect that if you want to go to equity, you must also go with clean hands. But we want a polity, lastly, we want a polity that is not, Nigeria is under serious tension. And all we need to do is to bring down the heat in the country.
Thank you so much, Ajike. I didn't need to say much in this particular episode because I had three very fiery guests. Thank you so much, Inibehe Effiong, for being with us. Thank you so much, Joseph Edgar, and thank you so much, Ajike Chude, for making this episode so interesting. Thank you for your presence. As we wrap up today, one thing is clear. Free speech is vital, but it carries responsibility. To whom much is given, much is expected, both for our leaders shaping policy and citizens exercising their voices. Safeguarding free expression while discouraging its misuse is not just a choice, it's a shared responsibility for all of us shaping the Nigeria of tomorrow. That's all we have time for today, and as I keep saying, remember that life is a learning curve. You'll be watching Perspectives here on the Rise News with me, Ruth Osime. Same time next week, we shall be here by God's grace to do it again. Until then, do have a great week.